Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, bringing you the most complete, comprehensive, and insightful college football analysis, discussion, and debate that you will find online from myself and, of course, the best bloggers, broadcasters, and writers in the industry. And, of course, we give you a voice as well. You are part of the voice of college football as we strike up the live stream on a regular basis and hear from you. All right, I have knocked out the top 10 non-conference games in college football for 2018 with the games that you would expect. LSU, Miami, Michigan, Notre Dame, and many others. The top 10 non-conference games for 2018. Please check out that video and either throw in some other games, comment, like, support the content if you like it. Whether you agree with it, that's another question. But if you enjoy the content and love the discussion and debate, please support the channel. All right, now we are looking at the under-the-radar games. So a lot of USC and Notre Dame and Michigan and those type teams in the first video of the top 10 non-conference games. These are under-the-radar games. First, we look at week 1. San Diego State at Stanford. Of course, the Cardinal went to San Diego last year, and they came back with a loss. There will, of course, be no Donnell Pumphrey, the leading rusher all-time in the history of college football. For the Aztecs, he's off to the NFL, but Bryce Love is still in play for Stanford. Also in week 1, we've got Texas and Maryland. Of course, Tom Herman's debut in Austin was spoiled by the Terps, 51-41. A lot of crazy plays in that game, special teams and defensive touchdowns. But the Terps took that win. They won a couple more to get off to a 3-1 start. Then it was all downhill for a 4-8 season. Texas, of course, rebounded, played pretty well in the Big 12, and marched on to a bowl win against Missouri for the first time in 5 years. All right, Texas, Maryland, they're playing this time at FedEx Field, and, of course, the Longhorns are looking for revenge. We've got a game against Texas Tech and Ole Miss. This one in Lubbock in week 1. There probably will be points all over the place. Of course, Texas Tech always brings the passing offense. Jordan Ta'amu for Ole Miss has replaced Shea Patterson, and the Rebels did not miss a beat offensively, and he's got some pretty good receivers there in Oxford as well. Ole Miss and Texas Tech in Lubbock in week 1. Also, this very interesting matchup, Florida Atlantic at Oklahoma. Typically, this game is going to be 49-10. But, of course, we know different. Florida Atlantic may have the class of the group of 5, coming off the big win in the Conference USA Championship game and a bowl win, the biggest bowl win margin-wise that we saw last season in defeating Akron 50-3. Lane Kiffin is back, and so is his quarterback and running back, Jeff Driscoll, after 13 touchdowns and 4 picks last year. And, of course, you've got Singletary, the running back. Devin Singletary ran for 1,800 yards and 29 touchdowns last year, and he is back. Florida Atlantic, no joke, at Oklahoma. This could be a really good game. And, of course, the Sooners have to break in a new quarterback in Kyler Murray. App State, Penn State in Happy Valley. This one seems like a laugher as well on the surface, but consider Penn State obviously loses quite a bit on defense. They lose their best tight end in Mike Gesicki, one of the best in the business. Deshaun Hamilton, a wide receiver. And, oh, yeah, that guy Saquon Barkley. He's missing as well. Appalachian State also has a history of pulling off upsets or near upsets against the Power 5. And, of course, we initially think of the Michigan game in 2007. But even in the last few years, consider App State played Georgia really tough. Yeah, the final was 31-10, but they were close into the second half. Also, Tennessee 2 years ago, when Tennessee was good, and App State took them to overtime, and if it wasn't for a Josh Dobbs fumble that a Tennessee offensive lineman jumped on, Appalachian State would have won that game in Knoxville. And then they took Wake Forest to the wire last year as well, 20-19, a good Wake Forest team. App State at Penn State could be a surprise in week 1. Tennessee, West Virginia, of course, Will Grier getting his Heisman candidacy off to a start in week 1 in Charlotte. The SEC and the Big 12 getting together, Tennessee and West Virginia. North Carolina, California, of course, that's under the wire. The Tar Heels coming off a dreadful season at 1-7 in the ACC. They were just atrocious. Larry Fedora, though, doing a nice job in North Carolina. Otherwise, they should have a somewhat bounce back here. Maybe it's going to be 2 or 3 years removed from getting them back to the 8 to 9 win plateau there. Cal, of course, has Ross Bowers at quarterback and Michael Carter, a back to look out for at North Carolina. Ran for over 600 yards and 5.8 yards per carry for a bad North Carolina team as just a freshman. UNC at Cal in week 1. Also, we've got Boise State at Troy. Well, we know what Troy did to LSU in Baton Rouge last year. And we also know that Boise State is probably the class of the group of 5, and they've got a date with Oklahoma State that we highlighted in our top 10 non-conference games. Boise State, Oklahoma State, and Stillwater. So the Broncos can't look past this one against Troy. All right. Our under-the-radar games. Week 1, we know about the big ones. Miami, LSU, Notre Dame and Michigan. Florida State plays an ACC game in week 1 against Virginia Tech. A number of big ones in week 1, but also some under the radars you may want to check out as well. We will go on to week 2 and check out the under the radar games there as well. Again, subscribe, like, and comment. Support the content if you like it, even if you don't agree with me. If you believe that we're bringing quality college football content your way, then support us right here at Mark Rogers TV.